Sonic the Hedgehog is a character that has been actively involved in my life, yet I've barely scratched the surface of his games. As a kid, I played some of his games, but I would play the same ones over and over again instead of branching out and playing more of them. The release of the Sonic movies really did help to reignite my love for him. So before we get into my first experience with these games, let's start with what games I do already have experience with. Sonic 1 is a game I've played but have never beaten, but it's the first one, so I'll talk about it in a sec. Sonic Heroes is the game I played the most as a kid. However, I never really played with anyone outside of Team Sonic, and the furthest I remember making it is Frog Forest. The Sonic Rivals duology were games that I remember playing a lot of, so I think I beat them, but it's been so long that I can't remember. That's pretty much it for my childhood Sonic experience. Recently, I made videos where I have Platinum Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors, while also playing Sonic Generations and very little of Sonic Adventure 2. I also have beaten Sonic Story and Sonic Adventure 1 twice, but haven't done anything outside of that. Lastly, I did make a video where I played the first level of every mainline Sonic game, but that's it. Everything else, I'm going into blind. In this video series, I plan on playing through every single Sonic game that has ever released in the US, spin-offs and everything else included as well. I'll be separating them by decade, so we're going to be starting with the very first one and play every game in release date order. So leave a like if you're ready for me to suffer, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Sonic game of the 90s is. The first game, of course, is the one that started it all for this blue little hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog was released in 1991 for the Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive if you're not American. Out of all the 2D Sonic games, this is the only game that I'm actually somewhat familiar with. I played this game in Sonic Origins up to Starlight Zone, which is the 5th stage. Now, does that help me here? No, it does not. Throughout this video, I'll be rating every stage's level as well as their music with a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. I also stream this live on Twitch, so if you want to hang out and have a good time, go follow me over there and join the goofiest community on the planet. Also, if you'd like, I would love it if you all left your personal ratings of these games and levels in the comments below. With that out of the way, let's head into Sonic 1. Sonic 1 starts you in the ever so iconic Green Hill Zone. Now, while simple, this level is very charming. The music is fantastic, the level is fun to play through, and it's very greeny and hilly and zoney. I also want to acknowledge that I am not the best at these games, okay? For 95% of them, it will be my first time playing the game, so I'm hoping to get better as we go through them, but as for now, it's pretty rough. So if you want to watch me suffer, I have a VOD channel where you can find my full playthrough to every single one of these games. As for Green Hill Zone, my thoughts are...
Me personally, song is a banger. Elite song. It's a classic, yes. It feels very classic. It feels very good. It felt like a good introductory level. And the song is gas. Alright? Like, it never gets old. I've heard that song so many times. It's very good. Way better than Mario 1-1. Alright, brother. We're gonna save the comparisons for when I do the Mario.
Green Hill Zone gets a full thumbs up. Since it's its own thing present in multiple games, I'll also include the special stage. I had no idea where the emeralds were most of the time, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. I'm pretty mixed on the gameplay of the special stage, but I know for sure that the song slaps, so I'm giving it a thumbs up regardless. Moving on to the next zone, Marble Zone is less green with hills in the background, and I see the enemy I hate most. This creepy, spiky, crawly thing. I hate you! Aside from that, the music on this stage slaps, and honestly, the level is actually pretty fun. Going into this, I thought I wouldn't have fun until we reached the 3D Sonic games because I'm just not a fan of 2D platformers. I haven't really played any, but that's because they never looked fun to me. This game is showing me that they can actually be worth playing as I'm enjoying myself so far, even if I'm struggling. Marble Zone gets a full thumbs up as the level itself is great and the song is a banger. Spring Yard Zone continues this trend as, once again, the level is fun to go through. It isn't overly complex, it's really pretty, and it has my favorite song and level so far. No, seriously, this song was stuck in my head for days after I played it. I'm usually someone whose favorite thing is whatever comes first, so I was fully expecting Green Hill Zone to be my favorite throughout, but Spring Yard Zone blew me away. This game was fantastic so far, and I was hoping it stayed that way, but it went downhill right away.
Every song has been great so far. Everything's been fun so far, but I see water, and I do not like water in any platformer. I don't like it in Mario, I don't like it in Sonic, I don't like it in... Those are the only two platformers I've ever played.
This level is no exception. Water levels suck in platformers, and I will stand on it. Off the top of my head, the only one that I, at the very least, didn't feel bad playing was Super Mario Galaxy's water levels. They were definitely the worst parts of the game, but in a game that is damn near perfect, that doesn't mean it was bad. Back to Sonic, I thought his whole shtick was to be fast. Why are we slowing him down? It's not fun, and although there are many troll parts in this level that are kinda hilarious looking back on it, it's not funny at the time when it's happening to me. The song, however, remains the same as the rest. It's still really good, so I'm glad at least something is consistent. This level gets a thumbs up for music, but an absolute thumbs down for level. Starlight Zone is a level that musically I'm very familiar with. It's one of my favorite themes in gaming, period. And I never even beat the level. As a level, however, I don't know if it's because I'm coming off the low of Labyrinth Zone or if this level is just really good, but I loved playing through it. I will say, for a level called Starlight Zone, I was hoping for more stars and lights, but the level is fine regardless. It gets a full thumbs up from me. On to Scrap Brain Zone, this level feels like a death trap. I feel like I can get hit at any point at any time, and it gave me so much anxiety. I do, however, think I was a little harsh on it when I was playing through it. Act 1 was enjoyable, but Act 2 was where my suffering truly started. From getting zapped, burned, or outright spiked through, I was in hell. I truly didn't think it could get any worse, but then Act 3 came, and I saw this.
Wait, why are we back in this? No. No, please don't tell me. No. No, I know this all too well. No, I don't What the hell is that? That looks like I shouldn't even go in there. Why are we back in the water? Unless this is like a we're going through all the levels again thing. I don't want to be here.
I don't know which dev thought it was a great idea to take us back to the absolute worst level of the game, but I need that dev hung from their underwear off a flagpole. With the power of modern technology and save states, I managed to make my way through it, and honestly, I was over this game. Before I get attacked, I was not finishing this game without abusing save states. I wanted to be done with it. The ending of it ruined what I thought was going to be an amazing experience. I mean, it still was, don't get me wrong. But man, this game could have easily been one of my favorites, if not for the blundering of these ending levels. Scrap Brain Zone for sure gets a thumbs down in the level department, but again, song-wise, it was pretty good. The final boss was whatever, and the game was over. Sonic the Hedgehog gets a 7 out of 10 for me.
The next game takes us to the Sega Master System, as we are once again playing Sonic the Hedgehog, but the 8-bit version. Now off rip, from the title screen alone, I already had my expectations low. It's reminiscent of the original, but the background is just black. It's lacking. It's empty. It's exactly what this game is. We once again start in Green Hill Zone, but this time, it's looking a little off. When you get hit, all your rings disappear and become one singular ring. There's little to no alternate paths, and the game is overall pretty boring. This version of Green Hill Zone gets a thumbs down for level, but the song still sounds nice, so that gets a thumbs up. I will say though, although the game sucks, the special stage is pretty damn fun. I just love how boingy it is, and it just scratches that certain itch for me. There are no Chaos Emeralds here though, so that's something to note. The song was also solid enough, so it gets a full thumbs up. Instead of the next stage being the Marble Zone we all know, it's instead replaced by Bridge. Yeah, that's the level name. Just Bridge. Now, if the Green Hill Zone in this game is a shell of its former self, Bridge is a shell of that shell. This is literally just Green Flop Zone. But the song, however, for whatever reason, it feels so nostalgic. It feels like I've heard something similar, but I have no idea where. Regardless, thumbs up for song, thumbs down for level. Replacing what should be Springyard Zone is what might be the worst level of any game I have ever played. Jungle was hell to go through. The song is fine, but it's something I can live without. The level is something I wish I could forget I ever played. Platforming sucks because the game forgets there's ground beyond the screen's capabilities, so you can die in the stupidest ways possible. W platforming? Okay. Yo, there's a block under there! Why does it just kill me? There is literally a block there! Yo! It's rings!
This is the worst level I have played so far, and it will be extremely tough to be worse than this. For the first time, this level is getting a full-on thumbs down.
Don't even joke about that. Labyrinth. So you're telling me they don't keep Marble Zone. They don't keep Scrapyard Zone, but they keep Labyrinth. Why? It's the worst one!
Why does this game continue to torture me? Out of all the zones to bring back, Labyrinth Zone is the absolute last one I would have done. I have nothing good to say about this level, except for that it's shorter and simpler. Thumbs down. Following in Labyrinth Zone's footsteps, Scrap Brain also makes a return. Act 1 is extremely straightforward. Act 2, at the time, was very annoying. One thing I will give this game credit for is their way of collecting Chaos Emeralds. Instead of collecting it in a special stage, you can find them in the levels as they like to hide in specific places. Act 3 was kind of fun to go through as well, and the song was decent enough, so for the only time in this game, this level gets a full thumbs up. The last level sees us go through Skybase Zone, which wasn't so bad, but not good enough to warrant a complete thumbs up. so it just gets a meh. The final boss was also a pushover, and we reach the credits, which is a medley of some of the songs of the game, which is an absolute W. Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit gets a 2 out of me. I wish we were done with the 8-bit stuff, but sadly, we have another. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Game Gear came out exactly 1 week before its Sega Genesis version in the US, so that's the one we're playing first. The starting screen in this game is much better than the last one, so I'm hoping that the game follows suit. The first zone doesn't have us anywhere green for the first time. No green hills, just the underground zone. This zone has cart thingies, which, I mean, they're pretty whatever to me. I feel like Sonic can just run and it'll have the same effect, since the cart's on a railing anyways. The level was decent enough, but pretty straightforward, and the music was whatever. This level gets a meh for me. Sky High is the next zone, and aside from the whatever zone music, this stage definitely had its own identity. The main gimmick here is this glider thing, and I kid you not, it took me at least 20 minutes to figure out I had to just not press anything to make the glider actually glide. It's kinda neat, but also kinda whatever, so this level gets another meh for me. Up now is the Aqua Lake Zone, which I'm going to stop talking about the music in this game because every zone song is very forgettable and nothing stands out. In this zone, I actually got hit with a bug and was forced to time out because Sonic got stuck in a loop. As a water level, to be completely honest, the zone wasn't that bad. The bubble stuff was kind of fun as you had to maneuver through obstacles while controlling a bubble that pops at the touch of anything. It isn't good enough to warrant a thumbs up, so another meh it is. Next is a zone that completely caught me off guard. Instead of Green Hill Zone, we get Green Hills Zone. Green Hills Zone? Wait, what? Green Hills? There's no way they just threw on an S at the end. They're so shameless. What do you mean Green Hills? It gets to a point where we just gotta learn to let go. The level again was nothing special, but I can't really say it was bad. I'm just a little disappointed. Gimmick Mountain Zone is what follows, and it brings back the spinny thingies from Sonic 1. I don't have much to say about this zone as it was pretty straightforward and follows the trend from every level before it. It's just there. Lastly, we have Scrambled Egg Zone, which off the name alone has to be a banger. Right? I mean, it kinda was. The tube puzzles were actually really fun and forced me to use my brain a little. There were multiple paths and tubes that you had to traverse through with multiple routes that troll you and only one that takes you where you need to go. It felt like a breath of fresh air, so it definitely satisfied me enough to get a thumbs up. It was then that I found out that Tails was absent this entire time because I couldn't be bothered to get the Chaos Emeralds. I mean, I didn't even trigger a single special stage in this game. I think there's another zone if you manage to get all the Chaos Emeralds, but y'all should know I'm not good at video games. I mean, I can't even beat these games without save states, so that's already pretty telling. Regardless, this game wasn't necessarily bad, but it definitely wasn't good. It was boring most of the time and didn't really do anything for me. It's still better than Sonic 1's 8-bit, that's for sure. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 8-bit gets a 2.5 from me. Back to the Sega Genesis we go, and automatically I'm hit with such vibrant colors and pretty visuals. Oh, and also, Tails is actually here. The first zone has us in Emerald Hill Zone, so not exactly green, but a shade of it. Immediately, I am loving this. I was going so fast and it felt so smooth, and also, there is a spin dash. Okay, wait, I have to try it out, He can spin dash! The song for Emerald Hill is incredibly good as well, so this level gets a complete thumbs up. Another change in this game is there's only 2 acts per zone, which I thought was pretty weird until we got halfway through the game, but we'll get there when we get there. Right now, we are at Chemical Plant Zone, which is familiar to me since I did play a bit of Sonic Generations. To me, it was a little worrisome that the rep for this game in Gens was so early on, and I was hoping we didn't peak here. The zone itself was fun to play through, and the added water didn't even bug me as much, so that's another W. The song, while not being my favorite at all, was still at the very least good, so Chemical Plant gets a full thumbs up. Aquatic Ruin makes its presence known quickly as I'm slapped in the face with this absolute banger of a theme. Now, if you take the lower path in Act 1, you're forced to go through water. But if you manage to stay at the top, you can completely avoid the water. In Act 2, I don't know if it's the same as I got locked into the bottom path, but the water section wasn't necessarily bad. It was just okay and slow. I hate going slow in these games, but I guess I understand that he can't go as fast in water. It didn't last for that long, and I beat Robotnik as we make it past this zone. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm getting better at the game or if the game is easier or whatever, but the boss battles in this game seem significantly easier to me than in Sonic 1. I'm not complaining though, since I feel like there's only so much you can do in these games. Aquatic Ruin gets a complete thumbs up and is my favorite song out of any of these games so far. The next zone is Casino Night Zone, and I love it, okay? As soon as I stepped foot into the stage, I knew I would love it. Casino Night! Hell yeah! The beautiful night sky with buildings in the back, all the colors, all the sound effects, all the boingy boingy. I love it all. The boss battle in this zone is my favorite one so far, even though I struggled a bunch, and the song is another banger. This is easily my favorite zone so far, not just in this game, but out of all the games so far. Easy thumbs up here. Hilltop Zone is now here, and honestly, meh. The song, while not bad, doesn't really do it for me. Same goes with the level itself. It feels pretty straightforward. I didn't find it necessarily fun, and I guess it just isn't for me. Mystic Cave feels very Halloween-y to me, especially the music, which I can say isn't my favorite, but it's still good. I love the vibes that this zone brings though. The purple cave tops and the greenery surrounding the level just go so well together for me. The vines you had to hang off of were cool too, so I think I'm okay giving this level a good thumbs up. Now we're coming up on our 7th zone in this game. Every game before this consisted of 6 zones. I guess since there's only 2 acts in each zone in this game compared to 3, they compensated by adding more zones, and personally, I'm a big fan of this. I would much rather more zone variety than an extra act in each stage. It keeps the game fresh and makes for better pacing for me. Oil Ocean is where we're headed next. I don't really care for the song, but this level is pretty cool. First of all, what I thought was water on the ground was actually literal oil. It's thick enough to where you can jump on it and not drown immediately. There's also these burners that throw you up, fans that guide you in the air, slides that throw you places, as well as balloon things that launch you places. The zone feels completely different from the zones prior, and as the 7th zone in this game, that is an absolute W. Oil Ocean gets a thumbs up in level, but a meh in song. Metropolis Zone has us inside what feels like a factory. I got hit by so many of these damn starfish, I think I might be racist towards them now. Aside from that, the level wasn't a bore, but I can't say it was fun either. It's also the only stage to have an Act 3, which in my opinion is kind of a waste, since there were better levels before it. I think it's very bottom-leaning thumbs up when it comes to level, because it's not bad enough for me to say meh, but to be fair, I could be a little biased because I got hit by so many enemies on the stage. Song is good though, so it gets a thumbs up there. For the first time in any of these games, Sky Chase Zone has us completely in the air, controlling Sonic and Tails at the same time as he's piloting the unnamed Sonic plane. As someone who's very familiar with Sonic Unleashed, I can't help but notice how similar it was to the tornado stages of that game, so I'm assuming the tornado stages were a callback to this. The zone is short and sweet. It was a nice change of pace and a calm before the storm. Even the music was calming and soothing, so the level gets a complete thumbs up. The last zone leads us directly to the Wing Fortress Zone. The song immediately sounds like it's building towards something. It feels grand, which is very fitting for a stage like this. Traversing through the outside of what I think is Robotnik's aircraft is really freaking cool to me. This zone only has 1 act and the boss fight was very challenging, which means this level gets an easy thumbs up across the board. The events of the last zone take us to the Death Egg Zone, which sees Sonic fighting some sort of Sonic that's made of metal. After defeating this metal-like Sonic, you then fight Robotnik, who is in a metal Robotnik machine, and have to defeat him while avoiding his spiky accessories. The zone had 2 boss fights, which is pretty cool, and both of them were alright. Not good, but not bad. The songs were also alright to me, so I think it's just gonna get a meh for me on both sides. Lastly, I didn't trigger a single special stage in my entire playthrough. Turns out you need 50 rings just like usual, but you have to enter through a checkpoint mid-stage. I thought it was at the end. I went back and played through it, and it is very easily my favorite special stage so far. Sonic is running like he should be, and we're just chasing after rings with Tails while avoiding obstacles. I love it. Overall, Sonic 2 is a huge upgrade from its predecessor in every single way. The zones are diverse enough to freshen up the game as you play through it. Most songs are really good and there aren't too many down spots. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 gets an 8.5 out of me, making it the best game so far. Okay. Immediately, I'm hit with absolute vibes. This opening cinematic and the music playing is elite stuff. I was so excited to get into it. The game looks pretty, it feels good to play, and honestly, that's the end of my positives. I'll speed run through whether I like the music of each stage in a bit, but let's talk about the concept of this game. In order to get the true ending, you have to go into the past as Sonic and destroy a generator of some sort, and I'm not a fan. Now, just because I don't like the concept doesn't mean it's a bad game, because it isn't. I try not to attack games like these because I know somewhere out there this is somebody's favorite game, and I hate it when people crap on my favorite games, so I'm not here to do that. I just don't like having to search a level when I'd want to just run and platform to the finish line. By default, I'm giving a thumbs down to each level because of this in the fun to play category, especially when it comes to Wacky Workbench. I cannot stand that level, and it is easily my least favorite level of the mainline series so far. As for music, the US and Japanese versions of the games have different soundtracks. My aim for this video was to play these games as if they were coming out, and since I live in the US, I prioritize the US version. But I've been told that the Japanese versions are better, so I'm just gonna rank them both. For the opening sequence, I heavily prefer the US version, but the Japanese version isn't bad, so they both get a thumbs up. For Palm Tree Panic Present, the Japanese version is vastly superior. It feels like the embodiment of happiness, and it is a top tier track. The US version is also good, but definitely overshadowed. They both get a thumbs up, and the Japanese version is my favorite track of any game so far. So I believe the past versions of each level have the same song, so for Palm Tree Panic, it also gets a thumbs up. Bad Future gets a thumbs up for both, with the Japanese version being slightly better, and Good Future also gets a thumbs up for both, with the Japanese version being better. Moving on to Collision Chaos, if I'm being honest, every track from both versions to me, while not bad, don't really stand out to me. I'd be fine never hearing the songs again, but I'd also still enjoy them if somebody else played them. So it just gets a meh all around. Now in Title Tempest, the Japanese present and Good Future gets a thumbs up. Everything else is meh. Every song in this game so far has been good, like ambiance music, I guess. But aside from the ones I gave a thumbs up, I'm not putting them on voluntarily and vibing out to them. However, they're great for their purpose. In Quartz Quadrant, every single theme gets a thumbs up. I don't favor it over Palm Tree Panic, but it's easily the second best one so far. The level's music was amazing in both soundtracks. As much as I hate to say it, Wacky Workbench's themes all slapped as well. I will always remember the level for its uniqueness. But the music was really good all throughout, and music-wise, it is my third favorite level so far. Stardust Speedway has made its way to my ears, and this level slaps. Every song is a banger across both soundtracks, and the Japanese version specifically just does it for me. It's not quite above Palm Tree Panic, but it definitely overtakes Quartz Quadrant for second. Finally, at Metallic Madness. The US soundtrack didn't really do it for me. I don't necessarily dislike any of them except for the Good Future track. To me, that one was just a disappointment. The rest of them were just okay. As for the Japanese version, every song to me was just barely a thumbs up. It reminded me of Mortal Kombat a little bit. The Good Future for the Japanese version was my favorite track of this level. Last thing I want to mention before we move on is the special stage. You have to run around and chase UFOs, and I also don't like this. Personally, it wasn't fun, I didn't care for the music, and I don't know, it just felt off. The end credits theme was a banger, of course, and that concludes Sonic CD. I feel bad because this felt like a game I should have loved. If I played the game just to reach the end without caring about saving the future, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but I don't think there were any real obstacles if you did play that way, so the gameplay would probably just be boring. As a reminder, I am rating these games purely on how much fun I had with them. A low score doesn't mean it's a bad game, just means I didn't have fun with it. With that being said, Sonic CD gets a 0 out of 10 for me. Okay, scratch that. After careful consideration, I believe I was too harsh on Sonic CD. Sure, I didn't have fun with it, but again, that was due to the nature in which I played it, and it doesn't feel right to rate it so low because of it. I'm actually looking forward to playing it again on Origins, so I'm going to bump the score to a 6 out of 10. For the spin-off games, I'm going to keep it brief if I don't like them. This game was extremely straightforward. The music wasn't bad, but since the levels were so short, I barely got to hear anything. The screen was also really small, so it was annoying to play, but I can see it being fun to play at the time it came out. It felt like a Target tech demo, and it's easy to say it's empty with all the Sonic games we have today. Also, we get another Green Hill variation in Mecha Hill Zone.
Mecha Green Hill Zone! Yo, they're shameless.
I know a lot of people hate how much Green Hill there is in Sonic games, but I'm a Green Hill meat rider, so I find it hilarious. Sonic Chaos gets a 1 from me. Okay, this one I'm keeping extremely short. I hated it. Call me bad at the game, I don't care. I'm bad at every single one of these games, but I found no enjoyment in this one. If I was 7 years old, then I would spend all day on this game, yeah, but I need to make videos so I can make a career out of this, so I have no desire to continue playing this, and it's the first game I didn't even come close to beating. When it comes to spin-offs, I'm not going to hold myself to beating them. If I don't find it fun, I'm not forcing myself to do it. Why? Because I don't want to. I have so many games to get through. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine gets a 0 from me. Sonic Spinball is a game that, again, if I played a lot of, I would probably love it. It's pinball. Who doesn't love pinball? But whose favorite game is pinball? You know? It's not fun, but I don't really care to play it for long. Sonic Spinball gets a 3 from me. We finally return to mainline Sonic, and this is a game that I have really high hopes for. I've heard so many times that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the very best Sonic game, so here I am to try it out myself. Immediately, I'm hit with a stellar title screen and data select screen. Oh my god! Then Knuckles smacks the Chaos Emeralds out of me. We then start Angel Island Zone, which just like every other mainline opening stage, is a banger. But this one might just be the best one yet. The vibes are immaculate, the song is great, and I'm introduced to the game's new mechanic, elemental shields. The fire one lets you do a little fake homing attack, the water one lets you do a curb stomp, and the electric one gives you an extra jump. Add that to the smooth transitions between acts, and this is a 10 out of 10 opening level. This is elite stuff. Angel Island Zone gets a gold star from me. Up now is, I don't know how to say it. Is it Hydrocity or Hydro City? Y'all let me know in the comments. Immediately, I died. It's an underwater zone, so I already have my expectations set at the lowest bar possible. However, the level, while not my favorite, isn't so bad. Sonic started running on water, and this was easily the coolest moment of any Sonic game so far. The music also wasn't bad, and the level didn't feel overwhelmingly underwater. Hydro City Hydrocity Zone gets a thumbs up. Next is Marble Garden Zone, which I thought was Sky Sanctuary for like 0.87 seconds. I've played Generations, and I know Sky Sanctuary exists, so I jumped the gun. Anyways, the music here is really good, and I like the spinning top thing that you ride in the zone. I got hit so many times in this level that I was genuinely scared to progress. Overall though, this level does get a thumbs up. Carnival Night Zone is the first zone that makes me take a step back. Now the music is good, the vibes are great, but I don't know about the level itself. It has that boingy boingy that I like, but not when it's constantly pushing me back. I know it's a skill issue, but this is how I feel, so I don't care. It's not a bad level, but it didn't interest me how I feel it should've. I'm giving the music a thumbs up, but the level a meh. The transition into Ice Cap Zone was cool, and I didn't even know that snowboarding was a thing before Sonic Adventure. Now onto the actual level, this is easily my second favorite level of the game so far. It feels cozy, the music slaps, and I had fun platforming all throughout the level. I don't really have much else to say other than that. It gets a full thumbs up. We touch down into Launch Bait Zone, where I'm not too optimistic since historically I'm not usually a big fan of the final stages. But again, this game does not disappoint. The level was very frustrating, but just because I'm not good at these games doesn't mean I can't enjoy them. It's challenging and it forces me to just get better. The song in the back is good and the platforming here feels fresh. Eggman also has like 3 phases in this level, which was wild to me, but I enjoyed it, which is the most important part. The special stage in this game is also pretty easily my favorite special stage thus far. The music is elite and the gameplay feels addicting. If this special stage was a game itself, I'd play the heck out of it to pass time. There's also a bonus stage with solid music, but I still have no idea what the objective of the stage is. So where does this put Sonic 3 overall? It's a really good game that lives up to the hype. I know it's only half of the game that is beloved by the community, but boy is it a really strong first half. While I don't think I enjoyed the zones as much as I did with Sonic 2's, the gameplay makes up for it. Sonic 3 gets an 8.5 from me, meaning it's tied for the top spot so far. To tell y'all the truth, I lost my footage for Sonic Spinball 8-bit, as well as the next game in Tales of the Music Maker. To sum it all up, this Sonic Spinball was worse than the 16-bit one, and I couldn't even get Tales of the Music Maker to work. Does anybody even know what a Sega Pico looks like? Cause I don't. Sonic Spinball 8-bit gets a 1.5 from me, and Tales of the Music Maker gets an NA since I couldn't even play it. We're finally at the second half of what I've been told is the best Sonic game. We already talked about Sonic 3, so we're just gonna go straight into the stages. Mushroom Hill Zone was a little disappointing to me. It's technically a first stage, and it is easily the worst one out of Sonic 1, 2, 3, and CD. However, it isn't a bad stage. I guess it just left a bad taste in my mouth since I was expecting more. The song is decent, but I don't know, I can't give this one a thumbs up. It's not so bad that it gets a thumbs down though, so I'm just gonna leave it in the middle. Flying Battery Zone is up next, and this one was surprising to me. If you told me that this was the last stage of the game, I would believe you 100%. It gives off that Eggman finale vibe, so it being second was weird, but it was a fun stage. There were these metal things that Sonic could climb over, and it reminded me of the monkey bars at the playground, so that was pretty cool. The song is a slapper too, so this level is an easy thumbs up. Sandopolis is here, and I gotta say, this stage is really fun. It has a lot of different ways to traverse through the level, like when Sonic ran through his usual loop like 3 times instead of just once. The desert theme is really cool too, and there isn't anything too bad or challenging here. Act 2 is where it gets even more fun because of these ghost things that pop up and interfere with you if you don't turn the lights on every so often. On top of that, this song bangs and is the best one of this specific game so far. Easy thumbs up. Initially, I thought I would dislike Labyrinth Zone, but I never know what I'm talking about. The song is amazing. It's not as good as Sandopolis, but still really good, and the stage itself wasn't bad at all. They were straightforward for the most part, and I love how drastically different the vibes are from Act 1 to Act 2. That goes for every stage, by the way. Having the fire shield helps you so much here since you don't take any damage to fire, and with a name like Lava Reef, you're surrounded by flames. Lava Reef gets a thumbs up. This is where the game puts a little emphasis on visual storytelling. In Hidden Palace Zone, we encounter Knuckles, and after a brief battle, Dr. Eggman steals the Master Emerald. Knuckles then teams up with us, and he leads us to the best level this game has to offer. Now, I may be a little biased since I have played Generations, and this is the Sonic & Knuckles rep for that game, but Sky Sanctuary is a top tier zone. The music is elite, the level is clean, and I just love it so much. Even the boss battles of this zone are touching, as they're callbacks to prior games. The first fight is a callback to the very first boss battle from Sonic 1 in Green Hill Zone. The second fight is a callback to Sonic 2 in Metropolis Zone, and the third fight is a callback again to Sonic 2, but in the Death Egg Zone. This level is a clear thumbs up and is my favorite of the entire series thus far. Lastly, we're at the Death Egg Zone, and I gotta say, I never expect to like the final zones, but here we are, and this zone is actually fun. It can be fast-paced with pretty cool gimmicks such as this light thing that Sonic runs through. Also, this is my very first time activating Super Sonic, and I did it accidentally, and it might have been the greatest thrill of my life. Safe to say, this level gets a thumbs up. After defeating the final boss at the end of the last zone, we then transition to the Doomsday Zone, where we play as Super Sonic, and man, this is peak. Also, I wasn't aware that you can make Sonic go faster by holding the jump button, and yeah, it made the level harder than it needed to be. You can dash by jumping? Are you serious? Why didn't anybody tell me that? I knew I was missing something! I'm like, ain't no way this is Super Sonic, ain't no way this slow! And that's Sonic & Knuckles. I can definitely see why people think this is the best Sonic game. And while I probably won't agree, I can respect it and acknowledge that this game is fantastic. I had a lot of fun with it, and all of these mainline classic games have shown me the light of these 2D Sonic games. Sonic & Knuckles, and by extension, Sonic 3 & Knuckles, gets a 9 from me, making it the best game so far. I don't even know how to describe this game. It's something. It doesn't even have Sonic or anything Sonic related in the name of the game, so we're just gonna give it a 1 and leave it at that. So this is a game that exists. Originally, this video was going to be beating every Sonic game. However, this game confirmed that for my sanity, I probably shouldn't do that. It's on par with the 8-bit versions of Sonic 1 and 2, so it probably wouldn't be too much trouble to finish it, but I simply didn't want to. There was a moment on Sunset Park Zone where I thought the game might actually separate itself from the rest when I was on this train, but it lasted a bit too long and got boring really quick. The next level actually didn't seem that bad either, but I was pretty much over the game at this point. I don't think the world would stop spinning if this game never came out. It is better than the 8-bit Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 versions, so I'll give it that. Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble gets a 3 from me. Sonic Drift 2 is a sequel to a Sonic game that was never released in the US. I did a Grand Prix and honestly, the game was surprisingly fun. I got really into it with Knuckles as he was my main competition, but then out of nowhere, Tails decided to lock in and threaten to take first from me. He fumbled the last race and I came out on top, and I swear, this is the most locked in I've been on any of these games thus far. I don't know, but when it comes to racing and sports games, the competitive gene in my body itches to win. Like I've mentioned before, I'm not rating these games based on how good the game is, I'm simply ranking them based off how much fun I had playing them and my experience with it. You all know where I'm going with this. This is a game I probably would have fiended on as a kid, and I'm kinda sad I missed out on it. Sonic Drift 2 gets an 8 from me. This is a game I feel like I should have liked. Like I mentioned in the intro, Sonic Heroes was a key part of my childhood. This being Team Chaotix's introductory game, I thought I would love it, but I'm not a fan of the cat-dog-ah gameplay. The vibes of the game were pretty good, but I constantly feel like I'm not in control, and I hate that. Also, why do the characters randomly get so huge? This game is weird to me and I'm not the biggest fan. The music did slap though. Knuckles Chaotix gets a 3.5 out of me. I have no clue what to even say about this game. For whatever reason, Tails is in a volcanic area and his main form of combat is to just pull bombs out of his ass and start chucking them. It feels like an EXE game and gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it at all, and I never want to see this thing again. Tails' adventure gets a 0 from me. Apparently, the story of this game is that Eggman stole Sonic's shoes, and that is why he runs so slow in this game. You're supposed to find 3 keys to advance to the next level, and I genuinely couldn't find the third one. The game is very stupid, but it also has a time trial mode, so I guess that's cool? I have nothing more to say about this. Sonic Labyrinth gets a 1 from me. Sonic the Fighters is a game that surprises me. Sonic has such a vast amount of characters in its franchise, and it baffles me that this is the only Sonic fighting game. This game proves to me that a Sonic fighting game would do numbers today. I was so locked into this, doing anything I could to win. I managed to get through everyone, but at the end, Metal Sonic stood between me and a victory. Never in my life have I felt more embarrassed.
Alright, chill. He got, oh, okay. What do you mean go? I was about to say, I gotta at least get a hit in. Hold that. He has no more. 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 He might win the... How? Come on, come on, come on. No, Sonic, come on, wait. Yo! How much damage is he doing? Metal Sonic snatched my chain and spit on me. I think I attempted the fight more than 10 times before I finally managed to win. After the battle, I had like 15 seconds to be Eggman, and he dog walked me. Oh man. Wait, but I have Chaos Emeralds. I see the energy around me. Shouldn't I be Supersonic now? Also, I have no time. I gotta beat his ass in like, what, 15 seconds? But he's cooking me. The game didn't allow me to retry the battle, so that was it for me. This is another game that brought out the competitive itch in me, and I loved every moment of it. Sonic the Fighters gets a 9 from me. This game freaks me out. These walking letters are weird. Sonic's voice is creepy. The whole vibe of this game is off-putting and it's unsettling. There's a random elephant that makes elephant noises, and Sonic doesn't even let me go on the bus. The game was such a hassle to set up too, so I was heavily disappointed in this mess. Sonic Schoolhouse gets a 0 from me. Just like Tails and the Music Maker, this game is on the Sega Pico, and I couldn't get it to work properly. The game doesn't look like there's much going on anyways, so it's just gonna fall into the MA category. So this game is a weird one. The objective here is to destroy Badniks and bring Flickies to a golden ring at the end of the stage. That's all it is. There's barely any platforming. It's just fight Badnik, rescue Flicky, over and over again. I was not having that, so I stopped after the completion of the first level. I played the Sega Saturn version here, but I have beaten the first level of the Sega Genesis version for the video I mentioned in the intro. The games are pretty similar across both versions, and I even put on the Genesis version after playing this one here just to enjoy the superior music. It's so good, but we'll touch upon it a little more in a later game. Anyways, the game isn't good, but it really isn't that bad. It's the type of game you might put on when you want to turn your brain off and do something Sonic related. Sonic 3D Blast gets a 5.5 from me. Sonic Blast without the 3D is next, and again, I don't know what to say. Green Hill Zone is the first level, but without the actual theme. The game is ugly and has no sauce. Sonic Blast gets a 0.5 out of me. So unbeknownst to me, Sonic Jam isn't actually its own game. It's a compilation game. However, the more I looked around, I realized it's so much more than that. Maybe I'm easily pleased, but I feel like so much love went into this game. There's a hub world you can walk around in, and in it, there's a lot of stuff you can look at, such as game openings and endings, old commercials, Sonic OVA media, soundtracks, sound effects, artwork, character profiles, Sonic history. There was just so much to look at. While you're looking at it, you get played a beautiful remix of the data select screen from Sonic 3, and honestly, it was making me tear up. The game oozed so much soul and love for this little blue hedgehog. As someone who missed out on all of these games growing up, this game makes me feel like it's not too late to ever pick it up. Going through his history and seeing all the games I just finished being here and shown off, it made me feel proud and happy knowing that Sonic is still alive and thriving 28 years after this game was made. It makes me really happy to continue playing through the franchise and sharing my first time experiences with you all. Apparently there are also missions you can play through in this world, but I wasn't aware of it while playing. Also, the compiled games are here too. You get Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and Knuckles. They're enhanced ports, and they even add an easy mode that would have been really helpful for someone as terrible as I am at these games, making it so anybody can enjoy the games. I appreciate the love put into this. Sonic Jam gets a 10 from me. I went into this game expecting it to be absolutely terrible. I have only ever heard 2 things about it. The music is amazing, and the gameplay is unbearable. Only one of those were true. Oh my god. Yo, this song is amazing. Can you feel the sunshine? I feel it. Because you're giving it to me. The music is genuinely breathtaking. There were moments where I got literal chills and was left speechless. The game itself wasn't even bad. Sure, the controls are clunky and hard to navigate with, but it was still really fun. However, this could just be because I was mesmerized by the music. I had my brain turned off and just let the music seep into my soul. There wasn't a single miss in any of the songs. I even went to a playlist to listen to the songs I couldn't access. Sonic R gets a 10 from me just for the music alone. After a long spell of spin-offs, we're finally back to the real deal. This was the game I was looking forward to the most. It's a game I'm somewhat familiar with. It's Sonic's supposed rough transition into 3D. It's Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast.
Now, I have beaten Sonic's story twice before this. However, that's it. I've never played the game past that point, and I was committed to doing so. I'm gonna split this game up into sections by character, so I'll walk you through my experience with them in the order I played through them. Starting with our main boy, Sonic the Hedgehog. His gameplay is easily the most fun to go through. He's fast and his movement feels really free. The only con I can really give him is the camera. The camera in this game sucks. But aside from that, it feels really good. Now let's get on to the stuff y'all are here for. Station Square is one of 2 main hubs in this game, and the theme is amazing. It never gets old and is catchy, easy thumbs up. Sonic's first stage is Emerald Coast. I have played through this level so many freaking times, and it never, and I mean never, gets old. It shows me how Sonic games really don't miss when it comes to first levels. I mean, Mushroom Hill is the one I consider to be the worst so far, but even that zone is fine. Emerald Coast is fun to play through, is iconic, has 2 sections in which the themes for both are amazing as well. This is an easy thumbs up. After this, we head to our second main hub, the Mystic Ruins. The song is very calming and soothing, and is another one that has always lived rent-free in my head. No need to elaborate more. Thumbs up. Windy Valley is our next action stage, and this game continues to shine. The music is fantastic and beautiful. The level is fun to go through, and the wind turbine things that carry you help with the ambiance of the level until you get sucked into a tornado. Remember when we were on 3D Blast, and I said I'd come back to the Genesis version's first level theme? Here it is again, as when we hopped out of the tornado, it's back. This theme is so majestic, and I'll never get tired of it. Windy Valley is an easy thumbs up. The casino is where we have to go next, and while it is unique and the theme slaps, the level isn't fun. You have to collect damn near 500 rings so that they can pile up and you can walk up to the emerald. I spent like an hour playing pinball to do this and finally got the emerald. I know there's a skip you can do here, but I'm playing through the lens of a first time player. This level isn't fun. It gets a thumbs down for level, but a thumbs up for song. Ice Cap returns as Action Stage 4, and I know I literally just mentioned that I'm playing through the lens of a first-time player, but I actually know of a skip in this level that I know I can do by just climbing the mountain here using a spin dash. Outside of that, the level is nice and calm with a really cool snowboarding section at the end with banging music. This was extremely fun to go through, and this level gets a thumbs up. There's a Sky Chase mini-act that appears, but there's nothing worth mentioning. It's a boring auto-scroller type of a stage. The theme is cool, but that's all. Thumbs down. Our next action stage is Twinkle Park, and I really like this one. The first section has you racing in a bumper car around a track. The next section has you traversing through like a medieval type setting, and the music is amazing here as well. The level is fun and has cool gimmicky mechanics, like having to bowl a strike using Sonic to advance. Easy thumbs up. Action Stage 6 has us at the Generations Rep in Speed Highway. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to hate on this stage because I would have loved to see Emerald Coast in Sonic Generations instead, but it's actually really fun. I mean, it's Sonic running on a highway. Nothing can go wrong here. The song is bumping, and yeah, that's all I needed. Thumbs up. Action Stage 7 is at the Red Mountain, and this stage is really fun. You have to find your way around the mountain to get inside of it, and the music here is again fantastic. I know I sound like a broken record, but this game, at least Sonic's section, is just really good to go through. I probably could have organized this better, but for the sake of consistency, I'm committed to this way of presenting my experiences with the games. The music inside the mountain isn't as good, but it's still decent enough. Thumbs up. We get another Sky Chase again, and it's boring. Thumbs down. The next hub world we have is the Egg Carrier. The theme is amazing, but at least for me, it was confusing to get around. With every character, I never knew where I was going, so it's just gonna get a meh for me. The next stage we have is the Sky Deck. Elite song, but holy shit, this is such a stressful stage. I don't mean stressful in a bad way though, there's just so many ways to die that it makes me nervous. It is fun to go through though. I'm giving it a thumbs up. Stage 9 is Lost World, and I always remembered this level being hell to go through. I don't know if I've just gotten better as a gamer, but I felt like I zoomed through it. The snake riding was cool, the mirror section was neat, and climbing up the gravity square things was nice and simple. The theme was very fitting for the stage, but it's not something I would put on a playlist. Nonetheless, I like it. It's gonna be a thumbs up. Our final stage is the Final Egg. Fitting name, isn't it? This level is wildly stressful. I got hit so many times and fell off so many times. There's some scary platforming you have to go through, but I got it done, and with my veteran experience, I was able to get through Eggman's final boss battle in the Egg Viper. The theme of the level was pretty good, so overall, this does get a thumbs up. Lastly, the ending theme. I'm gonna do a wrap up on my favorite levels and songs at the end of each decade, but Sonic's ending theme, I think I can say with absolute certainty, is my favorite song of this decade. It Doesn't Matter is a song that feels like it's very true to Sonic. When I first heard it, I was really only listening to how it sounded, and it was nice, but the real kicker is the meaning in the lyrics. The lyrics represent Sonic's true nature to me so perfectly. As I'm typing this in my script, I'm tearing up listening to the song. The line, "This fight is not for anybody, this is purely for myself," speaks volumes to me. Sonic sticks to his own morals and ideals and doesn't bow down to anybody. He's a true symbol of freedom. Sonic's side of this game to me gets an easy 10. I've already covered all the stages, so I won't be going into them again. Instead, I'll just speak on the characters' individual gameplay and or storylines. The next story I played through was Big the Cat's, and oh boy, this story was, something. His story consists of fishing for Froggy, and yeah, well, that's it. We just go from stage to stage fishing for this damn frog. I wish I could say more, but it's as simple as that. It's boring, it isn't really fun, and I was over it after the second stage. Thankfully, there were only 4 stages, so it wasn't so bad. Big the Cat side of this game gets a 4. The next story I did was E102 Gamma's story. The gameplay wasn't anything crazy, as it was just him shooting at a bunch of enemies, but my god, the story here, absolute cinema. Gamma grows feelings due to Amy's lecturing and sets his sight on one mission, to free his siblings. He blicks them down one by one until only E101 Beta is left. After the battle, both of their robot forms explode, and the Flickies who were manning the robot bodies were able to come together again as the family they were. It made me want to cry. There were very minimal words spoken in the story, yet they were able to convey such a simple, yet beautiful story. Gamma's theme was whatever, but that doesn't even matter to me. Even the Finn card at the end was a pleasure to see. E102 Gamma side of the game gets a 10. Tails is my next companion, and his story was simple, yet sweet. Since in the canon story, Tails just tags along with Sonic, for the majority of the game, his gameplay consists of just racing Sonic to the end of his stages. It really feels like a big brother letting his little brother win type of thing, and it was actually pretty fun since Tails could do crazy shortcuts, since, you know, he can fly. Sonic is a better man than me though. I would show no mercy. Ain't no easy dubs in my household. Just ask my younger brother. But to be fair, that's how I was raised. Y'all ever see the video of the dude cooking his sibling in Madden only for him to rage in tears? That was me as a kid. My older brother would try hard crazy against me, and I hated it. It's not even the fact that I was losing that made me upset. It's the fact that I was losing to him. Anyways, Tails' story is nothing more than that, but his true peak for me here is his ending theme. Again, when I first heard the song, I was only listening to how it sounded, but when I actually sat down and listened to the song, I shed grown man tears. The song is sung from Tails' perspective, and it's about how he wants to be like Sonic, but needs to find his own way to be as cool as he is. The main theme of it is, just like the name of the song says, believing in himself. This one hits real close to home as someone who kinda grew up in the shadow of my older brother. There was a point where I wanted to be just like him because I thought he was the coolest person ever. I realized eventually that I'm not like him, and that I should aim to be better than him by finding my own path. I've always struggled with finding consistent confidence in myself, but I feel like I'm getting there. I know I said Sonic's theme was the absolute best of the decade, but this song is tied with it, so it's going to be a 1A, 1B type thing. Tails' side of the game gets a 10. I didn't want to save Amy for last, so I decided she was next. Her gameplay was alright. It was simply just run away from the robot that wanted to kidnap you. I don't get why we had to run since she could just, you know, smack the robot with her hammer, but clearly the game didn't see it that way. I wish there was more to add, but that really was all it was. Her song was pretty weird as well. Don't get me wrong, the song is really, really good, but I can't say I see how it connects to Amy. It doesn't suit my perception of Amy, a sweet and caring girl. It suits a pure freaking sexual person, which obviously I don't see as this childlike anthropomorphic animal. Amy's side of the story gets a 6. Lastly is Knuckles. So like I said before, I did play a little bit of Sonic Adventure 2. I rage quit from Aquatic Mines because of how horrendous the treasure hunting gameplay is. It's not as bad here, but at its core, it's still treasure hunting, and it really just isn't fun at all. I'd still take it over fishing, but I feel like we could do so much more with Knuckles than just relegating him to such doo-doo. His theme does slap though, so it definitely bumps him up some points. Knuckles' side of the story gets a 6. Finally, we get to the story that can only be played once every other story has been completed, the Supersonic story. I can't lie, having to juke and weave attacks while going top speed as Supersonic is peak gameplay. Add in Open Your Heart as Supersonic's theme, I will never, ever complain about this. 10s across the board. Also, for some reason, Bake the Cat was pink here, but I'm pretty sure that was an emulator related issue, but I thought it was still funny enough to bring up. Overall, Sonic Adventure is a game that I have started and stopped throughout my life. I'm glad I was finally able to finish it and experience it live with my community. It's such an amazing game and is definitely a game I will be playing on my own in my free time. The soundtrack is phenomenal and I really like how everybody's story is playing out all at the same time. Obviously no game is perfect, but when it comes to fun, all the fun was there. Even the lows were enjoyable looking back on it, thanks to the people who showed up during the streams. Sonic Adventure gets a 10 from me, and is easily my favorite game from this decade. Now this would have been a great way to cap off the decade, however, there is still one more surprising gem out there. I assumed that this game was just a port of Sonic 1 for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I was happy to be mistaken. Now I only played through the first zone and a half, but this is definitely a game I would love to come back to one day. If you don't know, every level in this game is based off a level in Sonic 2, while the music that plays for each act is a remix of a song from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, with the only exception being Act 1 of Neo South Island Zone, which is a remix of the Hub World in Sonic Jam. I loved Sonic 2, so I have no doubt I'd love this game. From what I played, the game is fun and the art style is really nice. The music was pretty good too, so although I didn't fully play this game, it gets a 7 from me. And that's gonna do it for the 90s. This was an extremely fun introductory phase for me. I always thought I would hate the classic 2D games, but I was happily mistaken. Sonic 1 is a classic gem with good music all around, Sonic 2 evolves on that formula and introduces Sonic's best buddy Tails in a great way. Although I don't like the vision they went for in Sonic CD, the vibes of the game are top notch and I have to give it its flowers for that. Sonic 3 and Knuckles took everything that made Sonic 1 and 2 good and just expanded on it even further while introducing our red echidna Knuckles in the process. We even had some spin-off games that enhanced the Sonic experience with fun fighting in Sonic the Fighters, generational music in Sonic R, and a product full of love in Sonic Jam. Capping off the decade, Sonic Adventure was nothing like the critics said it was. It was an amazing transition to 3D and made for an everlasting video game. I try to be positive for these games as I'm here to enjoy the games, not bash on them, so I don't really care for talking about the negatives. I will critique where I see fit, but if that's what you're mainly looking for, go somewhere else. My main focus is the positives and what I love. And speaking on that, let's go through my favorites from this decade. Sonic 1's Green Hill Zone is where we started and will forever be iconic, but Starlight Zone takes the cake as the game's best theme. Sonic 2's Casino Night Zone was extremely fun to play through, but Aquatic Ruins theme is very easily my favorite track from that game. Sonic CD has so many bangers when it comes to the soundtrack, but the Japanese version of Palm Tree Panic just does something for me that no other track in that game does. It's just so happy that I can't get enough of it, and I think it's safe to say that it is my favorite theme of any of the 2D classic Sonic games. Sonic 3 and Knuckles had so many good ones, like Angel Island Zone and Sandopolis, but Sky Sanctuary was chosen as the generation's rep for a good reason. The level and theme is fantastic, and overall is the best level of the 2D games in my opinion. The Data Select theme also has to be mentioned here, as it's also an amazing track despite not being featured in a level, and the Sonic Jam remix elevates the track even further. Sonic R will forever get its flowers from me, as literally every track in that game goes above and beyond. Lastly, Sonic Adventure gets so much love from me. Emerald Coast, Windy Valley, Station Square, Knuckles' theme, Amy's theme, and Open Your Heart are all standouts, but Sonic's and Tails' theme is truly where the music in the game is at its very best. To me, it's the perfect Sonic and Tails songs, and the very best that this decade has to offer. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all with me when I tackle the 2000s decade of Sonic games. I'll see you when I see you.